my practicum, I did at the East Central Review out of Coronation. We cover 83 different communities in all of East Central Alberta. And this is where I worked. So this is our front office area where Joyce usually kind of works here, our editor and publisher, but she's gone right now on something. And we have a couple offices in here, and this is where we print out the newspaper. We put it on this board here to go over, corrections and things like that. Then we actually send it away to somebody who puts it all together at their house and who sends it back to us, so that's a little different. This is where one of the secretary people kind of work and the people who deal with ads. And back here is where we keep all our inserts and advertising and where we put it all together. And this is my office, which I personally think is the best place ever because it's right next to the coffee. So I grab a cup whenever I want, and right next to our fridge of pop. And this is where I worked. Making the transition from school to the real job setting was easier than I thought it was going to be, but there were some moments that I did feel intimidated. I had no trouble with the writing of the stories. I felt really prepared for all of that. I spent most of my time going to different council meetings, different events happening. I went to a dance recital, a fundraiser for the dry grads and things like that. Bull sales, and I just covered a bunch of different things like that. One story that was particularly fun to write was a story that actually made front page. It was a school board meeting with Clearview and Brownfield community. It sounds kind of dull, but it was actually a lot of fun because there's a lot of tension and drama and high-strung feelings, so that was really interesting to write about, to try and capture all that into the story. Another fun story was about a proposal for a baseball academy that someone is trying to get going in Coronation, which could be a really big deal for the town if it works. So that was fun for me to be able to write that and tell people about it because it could affect a lot of people. One thing that really stretched me was working on the tourist guide, a community and tourist guide that our paper is trying to put out. It hasn't been done for a really long time, so we're trying to make one that's new and up to date. It's going to be a guide for all of East Central Alberta. This project, it hasn't been done in quite a few years, so it's actually a lot of work to try and organize everything and get it going. The first few weeks of my practicum were spent on the computer researching different towns all across East Central Alberta. That took quite a while because our paper reaches 83 different communities, and to research them all and write down all their annual events and museums and what they have going on took a really long time, but it was good practice for research. I learned a lot doing that. After a while, it was time to hit the road for advertising and promoting the book. I've never sold ads before, so this was something that was out of my comfort zone completely, but I did feel extremely intimidating at first, but it was really good experience, and I definitely have any respect for all our ad PR students out there. It's a tough job, but I didn't mind it. I still prefer writing, but it was good. I traveled to a bunch of small towns all over the place for about 2 weeks. In total, we kind of went to different areas throughout the week. I got a really long list of names and numbers, which I quickly learned needed to be organized right away, and I learned also in lay all the information you need to get from clients. My first go at it, I didn't get everything I needed, and it made it a little bit more difficult, but I learned. Wednesdays at the office is a crazy time. The paper gets delivered and we have about, 10 people come in to do inserts, and that takes all day. I mean, depending on the week and how many inserts there are, but it usually takes, a good 5, 8, 9 hours depending. So they come, they give us the papers, we unbundle them, we stuff inserts in, and we bundle them back up, and then some go out that day and some get loaded in a truck on Thursday. So yeah, like this last Wednesday, my last Wednesday here, I just sat at this desk all day from starting at 10, and I actually went till 6:45, just, flipping pages, stuffing them in the paper, and it was a long day, but I got to listen to almost 200 songs on my iPod, so, it was a good experience. It's fun to learn about how the paper comes together and all the physical man labor it actually takes to get the paper out the door. I really valued my time at the ECA Review, and I really look forward to continuing to work for them. I have a bit of a freelance arrangement lined up, and I will continue to help with the Community Interiors Guide as it needs to come together more. I learned a lot about organization and prioritizing what's worth covering and what's not, because we cover a large area here, so it was good to to learn like what should we prioritize and what shouldn't we, and what is something that people who are trying to advertise would value and people reading the newspaper would value. So that was really good. I learned to manage my time, and it's run really different here because they have one reporter who actually, when I was here, he moved on to a different position, so we didn't really have a set reporter, and they have, I think, 4 people advertising, 1 in the office and 3 others they live in different areas in East Central Review, and they just send things in, and then 2 other people working here, and then the publisher. So that was a very different setup than what I'm used to, because we had 8 writers or whatever, but the reporter has to write, a lot more stories than what we're used to, but it was good. So I learned a lot about that. There wasn't really any negatives that I could really point out, because the things that I didn't enjoy doing, they were good for me. I grew as a person in this industry. It was good for me to sell ads, even though I don't particularly enjoy it as much as I do writing. I'm glad that I got that opportunity to do that. I also just want to take this time to thank all my teachers and my classmates for helping me get through getting my diploma. I had a really good 2 years at Lethbridge College, and I really value the experience and education that I got there. It really prepared me, the course really prepared me for going into the workforce, and I really appreciate how the course is made, for it's so hands-on, because that was really great. Like, I felt completely relaxed when it came to writing and covering things. I knew what I was doing, and that's all because of the program at Lethbridge College. So thank you so much, teachers and my classmates, for helping me develop that. And now I guess I get to get paid, so that's good.